How's it going, everybody? Chase here. Today I'll be reviewing my NASCAR collection. Now, if you know me, I'm a big NASCAR fan. Last year I got back into the sport after almost a 10-year hiatus of not watching them or anything like that. And just the past year I've been watching like throwback races or classic races where they would do dirt races and classic races at Daytona and Talladega and Bristol and stuff like that. And it really kick-started me being back into NASCAR. So I thought I'd show off my collection because I've got a pretty substantial collection. Starting off, I'm going to do the statues first. This was my first statue I bought about 10 years ago, 2009 I think. Never opened it until about a year ago. This is the McFarlane 2004, I believe. Dale Earnhardt Jr. And he's supposed to have like a little cape and not a cape, but I'll show it off in a minute. But the little display piece that goes behind him broke, so I ended up just throwing it away. Just a second. Comes on a cool little base. It has his name and his number and his motorsport team. If I can get it to focus. There we go. JR Motorsports. And next up, he's got some really good detail. I kind of wish they would have did the whole Budweiser thing, because that's what I remember from this from what they're going for in this era of NASCAR statues. But next up, I'm going to do the second one I have, which is the man, the myth, the legend, Dale Earnhardt. And he was a gift for my 21st birthday. And I gotta say, out of all the McFarlane figures that I've owned, this one's the most disappointing because, for one, I'm gonna take him off of his little base. The face looks excellent. I'm trying to get to focus. Come on, focus. I'm trying to get it to focus. For some reason it won't. But he comes with his little good wrench hat, which is a staple. He's got his sunglasses that he used to wear. That legendary mustache. He's got all of his sponsors like Bass Pro Shops, Simpsons. I can't read that third one. And Goodwrench. On the other arm, it's got like AC Delco and Motorola, and can't read that other one, the We Care. It's got that. But right here is where I have a biggest issue, and that is where they really let the ball go with quality control. Come on, focus. It's not going to let. But they messed up because they got like black all over his fingers. There we go, that's a better shot. Just a really good head sculpt. It looks just like the guy almost. For a $10 figure, can't go wrong. He's got his classic good wrench fire suit. He's got a little bit of articulation in his head where he can swivel his head up and to the side like that. But it kind of looks dumb when he does that. But his base is his, I'm just going to call it his pit stall, where he would park his car to get gas, to get tires swapped or whatever. And it looks really good. It's got the RCR logo and his autograph, his number, the Goodwrench Service Plus. Really good statue. Next up, is my most recent piece, and I could not pass this guy up. This is Dale Earnhardt Jr. from his 2004 Busch Series design, I'm going to call it. He drove the Oreo car back then. And this just looks so cool. It's sick. But this figure, this one right here, he was supposed to have this like little parachute slash the background, basically. I'm just going to call it that. But they messed it up because the way McFarlane packaged it, he had the tape aged and it got sticky in it, and the plastic for the metal or for the poles up here got warped, so they would not stay on the base down here. But I have not seen any other reviews on this guy on YouTube. This was a leap of faith, literally, for me. It's an awesome statue. I mean, I have him usually sitting up there behind my TV. Up there. And the way I've got this blue light set up on my TV, it lets me kind of change colors. I can go from red to blue to yellow to all those things. And it just looks really good, especially when you've got the white light on it. That just makes all the colors on here pop. But he's got like his little autograph back here, the numbers, Oreo on the jacket, the number 8, and vanilla wafers, Nutter Butter. I can't read that. Nebulizer, or Fig Newtons, excuse me, and Ritz. And this was about the time that he was being sponsored by both. If I remember correctly, it was vanilla wafers and Oreo and Ritz. Because he had the same designs, but he was driving his father's old number. He was driving the number 3 vanilla wafers car. Same goes for the, if I remember correctly, the Oreo car too. But this was back when he was driving his own car, basically. Back when DEI was a thing. But I love this statue. I love how they got him, his arms are crossed. It looks just classic Dale Jr. He's got his backwards ball cap, which, I'll see if I can get it. Has the little Oreo thing on it too. Back of his fire suit. Hold on a sec. Has the Oreo and Ritz thing back there. And just looks really good. It's my favorite out of all the NASCAR statues I've got from McFarlane. But next I'm going to move to, I'm just going to call it the 1/18th scale because that's what it is. I used to have this displayed on my nightstand, but I got bored of it, put it back in its box. But since this weekend is Talladega, I thought this would be a cool little piece to throw in, because this was Dale Earnhardt's last win at Talladega back in 2000. And he just, if I remember correctly, he led the last 18 laps in this thing. It was the Noble 500. I'm pretty sure that was the design. I mean, that was what the whole number, the orange number up here was for. Where they would pick a fan and they would give him, if Dale Earnhardt won, the fan would get $1 million and Dale would get $1 million. Something like that. It was an old incentive that they used to give drivers. But this was the Winner Circle 1/18th scale version. And I love it, but it's one of those things where it looks kind of better in the box, you know? But next up is, I'm going to show off the car that I bought a while back, earlier on in the year, and that is this was Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s 2000 I'm going to say it was 2002 or it was 2001 season. But this was, if I remember correctly, his first win at Texas Motor Speedway. And it was part of the Rebel collection. And I bought it off of eBay. The Rebel collection is known for them. They put the car in the glass case, or not the glass case, but the plastic case, and it's got the base with their autograph and all that screwed on. Well, the person I bought this from didn't exactly take care of it. It had all sorts of sticky crap and cracks in the plastic, so I just ended up taking it off of the base. And it looks great, regardless of if you have it on the base or not. It's got the sticker tires. Trying to get it to focus. And it ain't gonna focus again. But this looks really good. It's got the hood that lifts up so you can see the engine in there. Just looks good. It's got the Budweiser King of Beers symbol. It's a classic Monte Carlo. Bud King of Beers. Got his little sponsors. It's got his autograph up here, Dale Earnhardt Jr. It's got the classic Dale Earnhardt Incorporated DEI decal. Champions. Can't read that second one. It ain't gonna focus for some reason. I can't read that. Sherman Paints, I think, or Sherwin Paints. It's got what looks like the Texas flag up here. Classic Budweiser.com. Number 8. Chevrolet insignia or symbol. I do not know why my camera is doing this. It's got snap on. It's like not, for some reason my camera is not focusing. It's just kind of jumping all over the place. It's got the classic Remington Arms decal, which I remember being on just about every single one of his cars. Budweiser, Goodyear tires. Now my favorite part of these kind of cars is the fact that they actually show off. I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to get it to show off, but it's got the fuel cell. And it like shows how the fuel would go into the car, because it's got like a tube right there that on the inside of the trunk, it has where it connects from here, whereas where they would put the gas can. Same goes for right there, and it's just cool how it lines up and it sits at the bottom where the fuel cell would be. But just one of my favorites. I love the classic Budweiser look. Couldn't really go wrong with the Texas win. Up next is something I got at Goodwill. Let me fix the camera. And this is Martin Truex Jr.'s, which he's having a dang good season this year. He's actually he won twice. If I remember correctly, he won at Richmond and Martinsville, I believe. Something like that. It's really taking off. His career's getting good. But this is the Car of Tomorrow design, which I am not a fan of, for starters. I freaking hate these splitters. Because these things, back when they used to race them, they don't do them anymore. Car of Tomorrow generation's over with. They're in like Gen 7's coming out next year, which I'm looking forward to. But these splitters, they would get stuck in the grass, and they would just tear up. And it would basically just ruin any chances of actually trying to finish the race. And I'm just going to call them the spoilers up here. I just did not like this kind of car back then. But this is memorable because it's Bass Pro Shop. Very prominent out here in Texas. I actually live a couple miles away from the Bass Pro Shop. That's what's funny. It's got the tracker boats, redhead shotgun shells, if I remember correctly. I think that's what redhead was. Bass Pro Shop. Can't really tell what that little thing is right there. It's got Martin Truex Jr. It's got the classic DEI logo. It's a Chevrolet Impala Super Speeder. Pretty sure that's what the SS stands for. This is one of those basic cars. They're not the super duper. They're like the cheapo $10 cars that you used to get from the racetracks. Johnny Norris. Pretty sure that's his name, Johnny Norris. He was actually on NASCAR a couple of weeks ago, if I remember correctly. Back when, ironically enough, Martin Truex actually won that race over at, pretty sure it was Martinsville. It was a couple of weeks ago. It was a dang good race, though. Of course, he wasn't driving this car anymore. He's driving the number 19 Tracker Bass Pro Shop Chevy. I'm pretty sure it's Chevy, that or it's a Camry. Next up is kind of controversial, but Bill Elliott's, pretty sure this was 2007. No, 2006. Burger King car. I don't remember Bill Elliott coming back racing in this car. That's kind of foggy in my memory. But I really do like this car. It's got gorgeous rims, really shiny silver, kind of chrome look to it. The Burger King kind of design, flame, messing up my words. I'm thinking of that Robot Chicken video where he says frame spoiled instead of flame broiled. Classic Burger King look. Burger King on the back. The way we wish we could all have it, our way. Once again, this is one of those $10 cars that's kind of gone out of style, in my opinion. This one does not have the openable trunk, but it does have, if I can get it to open, it does have the engine. Burger King Monte Carlo Super Speeder. Chase Elliott, his son, Bill Elliott's son, is doing pretty good. Last season he won the Cup Championship. But up next, I'm going to do my favorite 124 scale diecast, and that is the Oreo. Just a second. The Oreo. Well, 2004 Dale Jr.'s Oreo Ritz car. I'm just going to call it Oreo Ritz. I first saw this thing because I was playing NASCAR 2005 Chase for the Cup on the original Xbox. And in the Busch series, this was the only Dale Jr. car you can choose. And I picked it out, and I just really liked how it drove. Kind of has a classic look to it. Gorgeous, kind of cobalt blue / cyan blue. Just looks really pretty. Blue number 8 at the top. This is from the Action series, which is a very high quality brand. I mean, I don't think they're in business anymore, but they were back in the day. But the reason why I love this one is that if you open up the trunk, it has what looks like the liquid, like what gas would be down in here, going into the fuel cell, because there's like little bubbles, and it looks like somebody's already put, like there's gas going into the fuel cell, which looks awesome. It's got the Fig Newtons design or decal. I can't really see what that says. It's got Dale Earnhardt Jr. and what looks like the Texas flag again. And then there's the United States flag. NASCAR race car from the Busch series. It's got the Budweiser decal. Auto motor. It's got the Goodyear #1 Eagle tires. It's different designs or decals or sponsors. Once again, it's basically just a copy paste on it from one side to the other. And then under the hood, there is the Oreo Ritz. There's your engine. Really cool car. Nutter butter and vanilla wafers. But I bought that statue, the Oreo Dale Jr. statue, and that 1/8 scale at the same time, because I couldn't help but want to pair them up together. But up next, I'm going to do my 1/64 scale collection. And starting off with my favorite driver of all time. Well, not of all time, because Dale Earnhardt's my all-time favorite. But my current favorite driver of the modern era, Brad Keselowski. Now, if I remember correctly, Brad used this car and he won at Richmond Motor Speedway, I believe, last year during what I would call some of the worst days of my life. A lot of bad stuff was happening last year, along with the pandemic. And this car was just awesome. It's a Alliance parts Ford Mustang, 2020 Ford Mustang. I know a lot of people prefer either the Miller Lite or the discount tire, but I never really could find those, and I'm not spending $10 on the store website or whatever, the one where they actually sell them from the NASCAR website. But this car was just awesome. It's got yellow tires. I just call this the Bumblebee Car because it reminds me of a bumblebee. Very clean. I love the Mustangs in NASCAR nowadays. They just look really good. It's got the discount tire little symbol right there. Alliance truck. Heavy duty truck parts. It's got the Ford. It's got the #2. It's got Worth up here. It's got his name up there, Brad Keselowski. If it'll focus. There we go. Brad Keselowski. Alright. Still holding out for a win. I hope he wins at Talladega tomorrow. Really am clinging to that. But continuing down the lines of the Penske cars, I'm going to do my second favorite of the Penske drivers, Ryan Blaney. Now this is his... Just a second. This is his Advanced Auto Parts 2020 design that he drove pretty frequently last year, along with that Kobe Bryant design that he had, which looked really good. The body armor car that he drove in honor of the late Kobe Bryant passing away. Really cool car. Same goes with Brad Keselowski's. He's got the yellow tires. Advanced Auto Parts on the tail, or the back bumper. Ford, #12. And Blaney is doing awesome. He's literally right up front just about every race, finishing in the top 5s, top 10s. But up next, not my favorite driver, but I do respect him. And that is Joey Logano. My main reason that I don't like Joey Logano is if you watched the 2021 Daytona 500, Keselowski was right behind Logano on the last lap, and I think it was Michael McDowell was right behind Keselowski, and Keselowski was trying to stay in the middle on the on the outside line, and McDowell pushed Keselowski into Logano. Logano got loose, came up, hit Keselowski, and they both proceeded to pretty much pile up the entire track, aside from Austin Dillon and like 2 other drivers that managed to get away. But Keselowski's fuel cell blew up in front of Kyle Busch, who was right behind. I'm pretty sure he was right behind McDowell originally. And so that was one of the scariest wrecks I think I've ever seen on TV. I legit thought that he had died because it was the 20th anniversary since Earnhardt. But Keselowski was alright, Kyle Busch was alright, everybody was doing alright. No injuries, no deaths. Just kind of a crappy finish because it's kind of a dirty tactic. I mean, he had enough time to where they could have. Keselowski probably could have gotten down on the inside line and avoided the whole wreck and probably won. But once again, it's a pretty good car. Pennzoil. This is not the 2020 version. This is the 2019 throwback to Kevin Harvick's old Pennzoil car, because Kevin Harvick back in the late 2000s, if I remember correctly, it was like 2009, something like that, he had the same exact paint scheme, but it was the number 29 instead of the 22. Logano won the first dirt race in almost 20, if not 40 years. Something like that. I don't remember the last dirt race. And that was a pretty interesting moment because nobody really saw it happen, and I know it ticked off a lot of people, me included, because I was kind of expecting somebody else. I was kind of expecting someone like Chase Elliott or whatever to actually take the win over at that dirt race. Somebody who has that experience on dirt tracks. But this car is the, say, Ford Mustang. It's got the Pennzoil and Shell logo. Pennzoil and Shell on the side. AAA. Auto insurance. Ford Mustang. Pennzoil. It's got his name up there on the top. Discount tire. Discount tire. AAA. Alright. Next car. I am going to do Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick, I'm still waiting for him to do something amazing. Amazing. This is a cool car. I love the Camaro design. Love the Caterpillar Classic number 8. It's got a cat on the back. Let's do the work and the across the bumper along with number 8. Cat Financial. Very cool car. Still waiting for him to do something amazing though. He's one of the, I'm going to call him, he's one of the underdogs I have a feeling in the near future. He's got a lot of potential. It's just a matter of time until he lets it go. Or lets it show. Up next, I'm going to do Jeff Gordon. Now, this is not the 1995, 96, 97, all that. Jeff Gordon that a lot of people remember being the Rainbow Warrior. This was, he never raced this car last year. This was back when the pandemic first started, this was the iRacing car that he participated in by driving. And it was a very cool throwback. Looks just like the Rainbow Warrior design that he had. It's a Chevrolet Camaro ZRT, I think. I don't remember the exact name. Got the classic Exalta that he's been driving for the past decade or so, I don't remember. I know he retired a while back, but I don't remember what year exactly. Valvoline. Exalta symbol again. Can't really tell what that says. It's got number 24. Camaro. It's got his autograph up there at the top. Kind of boring when it comes down to sponsors. Not a lot of sponsors for Jeff Gordon. They're really doing a lot of sponsors. A lot of the classic sponsors that used to be in NASCAR have faded away. They don't really have them anymore. Right here is Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s 2020 Xfinity, which is the newer Busch Series racing series. This is the Hellman's Chevrolet Camaro, I believe. Yeah. And it is pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of reminiscent of... I don't know what it reminds me of. It just... The way it's so big in comparison. It's got such a wide body. It's got the cool little spoilers on the back. Or not spoilers, but the little exhaust tips. Hellman's. It's got Klondike, Suave, goodies. It says Xfinity race car. Mobil 1. Pretty cool car. Not much to say about it. Up next, I will do Chris Buescher because I love this car. This is the 2020 Sunny D Ford Mustang. Chris Buescher drove this car like 2 or 3/3 of the, or 2 or 3/4 of the season. I don't remember exactly. He drove it for a long time. If not the whole season, I don't really remember. But this thing is just awesome. I love the bright orange and blue. It really catches your eye. It's kind of festive. It's got like different little stripes running across the side. I can't read what that says. Fastenal. Sunny D Ford Mustang. It's got cool little tail lights that Mustangs have. It's got the little gas. I can't remember the name of it. The gas tank door. AAA on the side down here. Can't really read those. Chris Buescher up there. Next up,